Greetings to you. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight. It's a lovely Tuesday evening. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, on the show tonight, we'll be talking about the Women's African Cup of Nations. We'll be talking about the travails of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Hopefully, at some point, we hope that our own Cecilia will be joining us at some point. She's live in the center where everything is happening at the Women's African Cup of Nations. We will also talk about, of course, we will look at basketball, the Junior D Tigress. We'll talk about them on the show. We will also pick the pieces from the FIFA Club World Cup. A stunner it was. I'm beginning to thank God I'm not a betting person. I would have lost if indeed I put my money on the table. That's the outlook of the show tonight. We urge you to sit back and relax, even as we take you on the trip across the money-spinning world of sports. Let me quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio tonight. Kehinde Idris joins us. Kehinde Idris, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight. As usual, a lot to pick from.
Yeah. Good to be here. Fantastic weekend. Topped it with that unexpected happening, at the FIFA Club World Cup. But trust me, as a Nigerian, there is nothing getting my attention way more than what is happening in Morocco with the WAFCON, the Super Falcons in the midst of everything. Now we want to see, for me, the competition has just gotten started. We almost know that they will get out of that group. But now that you've gotten to the point where there is no return, it's either you move forward or you go home. This is where the competition starts. I want to see if the Super Falcons are the real deal. Mission X still on point. Hopefully, it will stay on point.
All right, we'll see if they're the real deal. All right, let's quickly go to our Abuja studio as we bring in sports journalist David Oku, who joins us on the show tonight. Greetings to you, David. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Hi, guys. I hope everything is going great, man.
Yeah.
My eyes are fixated on the WAFCON currently in Morocco and other footballing events around the world. Football indeed unites the world.
Sure. All right. Let me keep you a bit. Let's set the tone for the discussion tonight. I'm going to go across in a minute to, probably less, to just show our viewers, just in case you missed it by any chance, the quarterfinal pairings, quarterfinal fixtures. Kehinde Idris said a few things that was scary. I'm very sure he's going to say it on live TV, but he told me in private. Let's see if he's going to be brave enough to say it to the hearing of everybody. But this is what you have, quarterfinal fixtures. Starting from Friday, July 18, the FIFA Falcons of Nigeria on Mission X will be up against Zambia. And of course, write it down in your calendar. Time 5 p.m. The venue is the Labi Zaoli Stadium in Casablanca. You also have Morocco taking on Mali. Of course, Stade Olympique Rabat is where that game will be played. Quarterfinal fixtures, of course, surely getting our attention. Other matches will be played as well in the quarterfinal of the tournament. You also have South Africa taking on, there you have it, South Africa taking on Senegal, Algeria taking on Ghana. So these are the quarterfinal fixtures all for you. Kehinde Idris, before I take my seat, let me throw this at you. I'll go to David as well. I don't want to ask you your thoughts on the performance so far because we'll probably go in directions I don't want us to go. But you've seen Nigeria, you've seen Zambia. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Yes, you did not ask me on our performance, but this will lead to me saying that one of the things I complained in the first group games, the most fantastic of them is Nigeria against Tunisia, which ended 3-0. After that 3-0 win, I guess I was here on the show, and I talked about fluidity. I talked about cohesion. I talked about togetherness, synergy from the Super Falcons. I didn't see that. And when you play teams that are properly organized, you tend to struggle. And that is my fear going forward. Now, we're in the quarterfinals, we're to play Zambia. I watched Zambia games, I've watched Super Falcons game. Yes, you can say maybe the Super Falcons have got class here and there, but we should always understand that team is what football is about. It's not tennis, where it's an individual, setting. if the team is more together, then they will knock the team that has a lot of quality but are not, are not together. And that is my fear going forward. Talking about the Super Falcons playing Zambia, I've seen the Zambians play. I've seen what they do in every of their game. They are the kind of team that puts pressure on you, very fast on the flank. Come through the middle. They've got a class act in that middle. Talking about Barbara Banda, they make use of her, and that is why they are here. For the Super Falcons, in the first game, we thought, okay, you did well. In the second game, we start to get exposed. I started seeing, chances created, not converted, and also, final third becomes a problem. Then the game against Algeria now told another different story. Yes, you can say some players were rested. That might be the reason. But Yemi, I am worried. The Zambians look like a very organized team.
All right.
The Super Falcons are a class team, but are they as organized to take on Zambia? That's my worry.
Okay. David, you listen to Kehinde Idris. I'm not getting your thoughts as well. Nigeria, Zambia. I know that being patriotic sometimes may overshadow how we talk about these games sometimes. But as a pundit, as a football fan, what do you think would happen when the Super Falcons take on Zambia?
Well, first of all, congratulations to the ladies for qualification to the next round. It hasn't come easy. Tournament football is not always easy. Sometimes you do not have to be at your best to pick up the required points, but they had 7, topping the group. It only puts them against Zambia. I was hoping for one of the best losers, to have a chance to play the Falcons, but it hasn't happened. They have to play a juggernaut. I believe that both teams can win the competition. So either side that wins, then we have to look at them. It will be a difficult game for Nigeria. Zambia up front, spearheaded by Banda and Rachel Kunenanji, who has been one of the shining lights of this competition so far. Banda herself is up there as one of the top goal scorers. So it is incredible to show what they've been able to do in this competition. Remind yourself that they were not in the last one back in Morocco, and Zambia still went on to win the bronze medal. So right now, looking at the quarterfinal, it's a tough game for the Super Falcons. A really tough game. In the post-match press conference against Algeria, Coach Justin Madugu had made a comment that Rachel and Banda, that they have the antidote for these two, getting into the quarterfinals. But we're looking forward to seeing how it happens. First of all, we need to take care of ourselves in-house. Charity begins at home. I want to see organization. The defense has been good enough, hasn't considered the goal. Chiamaka has been largely untroubled, but that will surely change against the Zambians who've got firepower. So we want to see organization in the defense. In the midfield, we need to see cohesion. And in the attack, we need to see runners, If you were to ask me, about choices, I think we have a balanced team so far. The only thing is that we haven't clicked. But the fans are worried, and rightfully so, because the Falcons have not resembled the Falcons of back in the day that used to blow teams away. But again, that is down to the development of women football through football medicine and football science in Africa. That has made some of these teams who were relatively unknown have caught up with the likes of Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Zambia, to mention but a few. So the Super Falcons might go into games not dominating as they used to dominate back in the day, but we hope that they can come out unscathed against the Zambians if they find their rhythm and play some of the football we've not seen so far in the competition.
All right. We'll see. Let's quickly listen to coach of the team, Justin Madugu, saying there's no room for error against Zambia. We can all agree with that.
We know that we're playing Zambia. We are aware of that. Like I said at the press conference, the pre-match press conference, from when the schedules were out, you have to anticipate who and who you will come up against, and then what are the likely plans you equally have for them. We have watched some of their games. We know some of their players. We'll go back and continue our analysis of the team, their strengths and their weaknesses, just as we know they will equally be doing. So it's not anything of concern for us because, like I said, for you to win the tournament, you must win all your matches. And so that is what we are going into. There are no room for errors, no room for errors. We must be 100% mentally, psychologically, physically, tactically, and everything. We must be ready for it, and that is what we are hoping to do. Prior to this tournament, we've been playing games, playing matches, and a lot of them have equally been scoring goals. In this tournament, goal scoring has become a challenge for us. We have to really go back and do a lot. We have little time to be able to work on that, but it's an area that is becoming a cause of concern and worry for us. The same players that were scoring goals before now are the same players that are still playing. So why they're not getting the goals is something we have to try and look at and then work on. The players have done well. They did their bit. They did their best. Things didn't just go our way. But we are impressed with a lot of them, and we are hoping that between now and the next game we'll be playing, we will have to take a decision, looking at what will happen between now and, when we'll be having our training sessions leading up to the game. I cannot sit here now and say whether they will make it or not, because you can never tell what can happen between now and then. So by the time we conclude our preparations towards the quarterfinal match, we will know who amongst them is fully ready and fit to be able to play in the next game.
All right, a very objective assessment from Coach Justin Madugu. Well, my colleague also, Lukuna Akpan, is ready now, suited and ready as we go along on this ride. Greetings to you, Austin. Thanks for coming through as well.
Spotted greetings to you, and of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. Shout out to Kende, Idris, David Oku, and Cecilia waiting to join us to talk about the Super Falcons and their Mission X campaign that is under serious threat. I listened to Coach Justin Madugu when he said that he has a team that is supposed to be scoring goals and he doesn't know why they are not scoring goals. And Omaomi's song came to mind, saying, if you ask me, coach, who am I going to ask? Because that's your team. You should know what's going on. You picked the team. I do not see coordination. I don't see productivity. I don't see effective use of the ball. It's worrisome because they're not scoring goals. And that's the difference when you take a look at us and the Copper Queens of Zambia. So it's pretty tough. But look, everything rises and falls on leadership. So Coach Justin Madugu must find a way to turn things around against Zambia. It was interesting to hear him say that for you to win the tournament, you must win all your games. They haven't lost any yet, but if we're to judge this team by the last two games, it will interest you to know that the Super Falcons had 24 shots in that game against Algeria, and only 2 were on target, just 2. Against Botswana, before they scored, no shot on target. That's plain poor performance. There's nothing Coach Justin Madugu wants to say. Is either something is wrong, maybe the gift that is not missing in this gift is turning into a curse. He has to just find a way to turn it around against Zambia. Let's see a team that plays with a unity of purpose. Let's see a team that understands, teamwork, effective use of the ball, particularly being productive in the final third. We're not seeing that, and that's why I'm worried. You know what? Let's listen to Aisha Falode. She's been talking about the struggle. She caught up with Cecilia right there in Morocco. I want to listen to Falode and come back. Cecilia will join us on the show and we'll break this down. Don't go anywhere.
Why not? The only thing that will stand in the way of Super Falcons is the Super Falcons themselves. They have to understand that the Mission X is not a slogan. It is actually a call to duty, a call for you to answer. It's like a soldier who's been sent on a war mission. Go and accomplish what you need to accomplish, and you know what it means. It's either you get them or they get you. Now is the time for revenge, to reclaim and restamp your authority on the continent. Mission X was a mirage the last time. Now you want to make it a reality. They should understand that you have a mixture of players now who are new to the team. They are hungry. The experienced one, they want to experience what it means to lift the trophy. The last time we won it has been a while. You know, something that was a tradition to us, that was a given. Now we are struggling. And that is good in a way, to know that women's football on the continent is not static. It is developing, it is moving, it is growing. And we have to go back to the front and dictate the pace again. We cannot lead from behind. We have to be in front to lead. And that is what Mission X is about. And it is achievable.
Aisha Falade, she's big women's football in Nigeria, board member, Nigeria Football Federation. Aisha, it's not just Super Falcons that can stop Super Falcons now. There's the Copper Queens of Zambia on Friday in the quarterfinals. And as I said, if they don't up the game, it's either you go hard or you're going home. Let's go to Morocco. Cecilia Mogbe is standing by. Cecilia, I warned you the last time you were on this show. Cecilia, I said, tell your girls they need to show workings. We want to see the Super Falcons with firepower. Cecilia, what's going on?
We didn't see the firepower. Good evening, Austin. Good evening, Yemi, and of course, Kehinde Idris right there in the studio. And good evening, Nigerians. I think, yes, I understand you completely. You know, when we talked about the fact that the coach was going to make changes, that was what he did against Algeria. So he was thinking maybe his strings of changes would definitely have something different. But what we saw in that game is the fact that we had a little bit of cohesion that we normally hadn't before. And also the fact that they created so many chances. But I felt if he had a natural number 9, because Onumonu who came on in that game, is like, she's still trying to find her feet in the tournament. But I felt maybe if we had Ijamilisu, in the game earlier, or maybe she would have been able to be the one to give all goals. Because I remember against Algeria the last time, she scored a hat-trick, right? Monday Gibbs was also in that team. And when I posed the question to him, I mean, what changed between that time, a 6-2 victory, and now you couldn't even get a goal, and then you had just 2 targets out of 24 shots. And he said about most of them were NWFL players, which he admitted. And then most of them are not here. You just have 4 of them in this tournament. It tells you a lot what has changed in the Super Falcons over time. Now you have players who played through the qualifiers, some players who play some of the friendlies. Most of them are not even here. And then you're not trying to build in a tournament. So you're trying to, all the experimentation is doing now, is doing it in the tournament. We saw what happened in the first game and second game, use the same changes. But third game, it changes completely. And then we see the leaves of cohesion, as I mentioned earlier. And now the scoring problem now occurred. So what do you do in that situation? Just maybe you see how it's going to combine players. Maybe assistant will have to play a full game to see if she can get those goals. And they have to see if you can bring in Jamilusu earlier to see if you can get those goals. You don't have to risk Onumonu anymore, because in that game, she was off. And we saw Odega how she played 7, sweet and fast. Just maybe Tony Payne will have to sit down and watch Odega play the 7 better. Maybe if you can make those changes, just maybe. I'm using maybe. We might just get those goals we'll be looking for. Because playing Zambia, they're very quick on their feet. Barbara Banda, I mean, she's not, everyone, of course, we're talking about, I mean, I listened to David talking about her. Rachel is also another player. I mean, the second most expensive player in the world. So she's not just having that for namesake. So these are players who are quick on their feet. But the only thing that worked well for the Super Falcons is the fact that our defense line is actually solid. That's one thing we can give to. Once you have Osinachi Ali and Chiamaka Naduzi at the back, and Tosin Dime has joined the fray now, you can be confident that, yes, that back is covered. And even when Maladipo, when she came on, people were saying that maybe Alozime then will get a shot anymore because of how she played in that game. Yeah, she was very, very decent. Move forward and back and cover her paces. That's what she was able to do. So we've got that back line, which is solid. Now the problem is the forward line and how the crosses are being made. I saw the crosses that Odega made, which was fantastic. But who is going to convert those chances? That's where the big problem is. It has a lot to do really against Zambia.
Cecilia, you know what? I know you will go on and on, but you don't have the solutions. It has to be Justin Matugu. But hold your thoughts. Let's go on this quick break. Let our viewers know that when we come back inside the Niger Delta, with Mahmoud Akuga will be on DSTV, while other platforms will continue with Sports Tonight. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Remember, we're taking a look at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. We've got David Oku, Cecilia Omogbe in Morocco, and there's Kede Idris in Lagos. That's the sort of squad the Super Falcons can assemble when they are giving us too much headache. So all these guys are available to talk about it. But before I go to David, let's listen to Asisat Oshoala. She's expecting a tough clash against Zambia. And yes, it will be a tough one. Listen.
First of all, the team did a great job trying to qualify for the next round of the tournament, which is the most important thing. And I also feel like it's been peaceful the whole time. We've not had our best game yet, but again, I feel like as the competition progresses, you see the better teams go to the next round, and then you see better football as well. So I feel like we're going to play better in the next round, and yeah, we're looking forward to the Zambia game. It's going to be interesting. My teammates are making banters already, because Rachel obviously is my teammate, and then we have to play against Banda as well. So it's not about me and Rachel playing against the other team now. It's about me playing against about 4 of them playing for Orlando. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. They have a good team. They're a very strong side as well, considering how much experienced players they have on their team. I think it's going to be a good game.
It's definitely going to be. It's definitely going to be a big game. That was Asisat Oshoala. She spoke with Cecilia Omogbe right there in Morocco. David, let me bring you in. You listened to Asisat, and see, everyone is just talking Rachel, Barbara Banda. I'm saying these Zambia Copper Queens, they are a complete good team. Do you agree?
Well, they are a good side. They are a good side, and they've grown markedly from their exploits 3 years ago. Remember, these two were not there 3 years ago. So having them back in, adds more impetus to the attack. And they've started off like a house on fire at the WAFCON this year, Barbara and Rachel. So, yes, I like the fact that Asisat has acknowledged both players. You cannot be in this sort of form and your teammates or your other colleagues do not acknowledge you. So we look forward to the game. I was thinking Coach Justin Madugo will bring in Christy Uchibe to do a job on Banda and Rachel. While Alimatu Ayimbe is parading the midfield, I think they can sacrifice. We'll have to go into that very quickly. Tony Payne can be sacrificed for Christy to do a job on Barbara. Christy can also go forward and score goals. She can also pass the ball. She can be an outlet, but we need that extra body in midfield so that we do not get outplayed on the park. The job will be too much for Alimatu. So, a real tough game we are looking forward to. I agree with Asisat Oshoala, who's not been in the best of fine behaviors. Recall after the game, the second match against Botswana, she had to storm off the pitch when she was substituted early in the second half. That didn't go down well. The coach responded to that and said that you have to respect your colleagues, you have to respect your team and your country, and that this issue will be handled internally. She didn't play in the final game against Algeria. Possibly she was rested, but I hope any disciplinary measures that has been taken internally. Probably she's apologized to the team. She's an emotional person and a winner who always wants to win. We have seen that with athletes before, top players like Cristiano Ronaldo storming off when substituted. So I can understand the place of Asisat Oshoala, but she needs to be careful because the younger ones who have been called up into the team are watching on how she behaves. I expect her to be restored back to the starting lineup for the game against Zambia. Asisat, Rins, Sola Babajide, and then on the right-hand side, we can move in Rashida Tajibade, who's still got electrifying pace and legs to run. We can take her to the right-hand side so that she can help out with the overlapping Mitchell, who's going to play at right back. I did watch Mitchell a couple of times, and she looked very tired. And I believe that the rest she must have gotten by staying away in the final game. And then yesterday, the ladies didn't train, but trained this evening. I believe they must have rested enough to start off like a house on fire against the Zambians and control the game.
Awesome. Kede Idris, I I know you've been, expecting so much from this team, but what do you think can turn it around for them against Zambia?
I think attitude. I think that's where my problem lie. However you shape the team, the first thing we want to see is how together they are, how they are ready to play for each other. The adjustments and all of that. Ajibade in the middle, I think like what David said, bring Ajibade, back to the flanks and let her, stretch her legs. She's somebody who loves to stretch her leg, and I think that will pay off. But most importantly, how are the fullbacks connecting with the wingers? How are the, midfield players? There is no business having Uchebe on the bench. I'm not saying I'm a coach and the coach sees them day in, day out on training grounds, morning, night, and all of that. But I think there is something special about Uchebe and adding still to that midfield. So, these are things that you put in that brings, a lot of togetherness. I want to play for you, want to play for me. I'm in my natural position. I am playing with, somebody who could also cover well for me. Alimata Ide cannot be left. No disrespect to her to do all of the ground covering when it comes to marking. She is not as young as she used to be. We need something to complement. So probably she will be the sitting marker while Chebe roves around, and then you have some other player creating. But having her with Tony Payne, I think truly that might not go well. So bring this together, and then we would have a more.
I'll say to you what else he said to Cecilia. Look, all of this thing is Justin Madugu's headache. He had better find the combinations, because nobody's going to listen to any excuse. Look, I'm used to the Super Eagles making me feel like this.
Yep.
I'm not used to the Super Falcons making me feel like this. So we're on a new turf. We're on a new turf. And that will make me ask Cecilia this question. The coach has acknowledged, and Assisa too, acknowledged that the performances could have been better. But I'd like to ask, as someone who's been with them, listened to them, how confident are they sounding? Because look, we all agree this appears to be the toughest opposition yet in this tournament, and they have to pass this test or else they're coming home.
Yeah, they understand what it is. They understand the mission. And as you mentioned, all of them, everybody has been saying this has not been the best of performances. Yes, they may have gone through the group stage, not conceding the goal, and not just that, unbeaten. But that's not enough. Zambia were not able to do that. But Zambia were also unbeaten, all through the group stage. They scored 6 goals, conceding 4. I think that's where the Super Falcons are thinking, maybe since they concede goals, but the problem is, can they score? And if you check how they've been playing, below par performance, no, Nigerians are not happy about that. It's not just enough for you to have that clean sheet, but what happens to how you play? And of course, winning games. If they had won that game against Algeria with the wholesome changes he made, then we wouldn't have been talking about this. We wouldn't have been scared that they may just be coming home in the quarterfinals. But we're still looking at the situation whereby, these players might just come out to play, because discipline is key. You mentioned Chris Uchebe on the bench. Chris Uchebe has been playing. The first 2 games, she played 45 minutes. The last game, she played full game. So I don't know what David Oko was trying to... no, not David. Kehinde was trying to say there. Now, if you have Rashida Ajibade playing out of position, that was one of the questions we actually posed to the coach at one of the press conference. And he says that usually discuss with the players the position they're going to play. And then they agree. And then these players, they are versatile utility players. But when you're playing a team like Zambia, would you want to experiment with, utility players, or because players are versatile, play them out of position? I don't think that's the right thing to do. We know Ajibade, how she runs the flank. Having Ajibade and just maybe Esther Okoronko, or just maybe Rinsola Babajide, we see how these guys can actually run the flank. So why not just give them that position and let them run the flanks, and then have Azizat as your top man? Jamilisu, as I mentioned earlier, that girl, she's a proven goal scorer. We've seen what she can actually do, but I don't know why she's not giving more minutes to actually play. That more minutes should have been given to her at the group stage, and then you know how she can actually, bring the goals. But that's not what we are having. Onomoni is like, I mentioned that earlier, she's more like, maybe she's not in this tournament, or maybe she's still trying to find their feet, or just maybe they are not comfortable. We're trying to, I don't know, maybe find solution why the Super Falcons are so slow. I mean, I've been watching Super Falcons for a very, very long time. The performances we've seen in the first 3 games, it's one of the worst they've had, over the years. So the questions that can be asked is, what's really the problem? Because this same coach was with them when they played Algeria. This same coach was with them when they played France, that everybody was, and that's almost a win for Nigeria. This same coach when they played Cameroon, and we saw a game against Portugal, and we saw how the players played. I mean, the flair, the hunger was there. But like right now, you're seeing like, I don't know, I can't see that zeal and that hunger. I can't see that in these girls. So I'm like, just maybe they're not comfortable where they are, because you go to their hotel just right, and the heart of the city, the horns blaring, it's just like in the middle of the road. It's like, I don't know how they sleep at night, because I know once I hear horns and everything, it's hard for me to sleep. I don't know how they sleep at night. I don't know if they are not comfortable. And then we talked about the distance to training and the 2 hours you have to be making almost every day for training. I really don't know what's going on at all, because just maybe they need to do something differently.
All right.
Because any little sleep, they are coming home, really. Mission S will just be over.
All right, maybe Austin has something to say, but let me just quickly say this. If you are this confused and you're in Morocco, you can understand how confused we are here. But of course, maybe let me allow Austin to say it, to probably we're out of time for this segment. But hopefully, the Super Falcons will get the right combinations for the win. So I don't know if Austin has anything to say.
I think it's pretty straightforward. The players understand this mission. Coach Madugu has said it, no room for errors. But before I go to David, I want to stay with Cecilia. She's right there with the team. Cecilia, when I watch this team, there's just something off about their body language. Yeah. It's like the girls are not particularly happy. You can tell that they are not giving it that push that we normally see. And look, from the moment Mission X campaign was launched, I wanted to see this verve. Cecilia, you're close to them. You spoke with Asisa Atoshoala. Tell us some of the things they have been telling you that is difficult for you to come out to say. Tell us.
Austin, when you hear some things from players and it's in confidence, you can't say it out, because that trust will not be there. But overall, I think
unpaid bonus, unpaid allowances. Are we? Cecilia, don't say who told you. Because we're hearing things. Are they happy?
Yeah. Obviously not. Obviously not. They're really not happy, really, because I remember when Rashida Ajibade posted on the social media. This one is out there. I mean, where they're staying. I mean, I went to the hotel. We had the media day yesterday. I went to the hotel. There was even no space for us to have the so-called media day. We had to stay in the dining room. Everywhere was cramped. All the interviews I did, I could only send 2. The others I couldn't use because the place was cramped. Every journalist was in the shot of the other journalist. So you didn't have a space for that. So that's how cramped it is. It's at the heart of the hotel. And I saw Aziza coming out of the hotel. Actually, the medicals were around. The ambulance was outside. She went to meet them outside. That's our best player. She was outside the streets of Morocco when the medical teams were talking to her. And we could see what was going on, because there is no space to even park. So that's how cramped that is, in the heart of the city. And you just have a hotel, on the expressway. So like Algeria team moved from where they were camped, moved from where park allocated to them. They're staying in a hotel very close to where I'm staying, because that place is very serene, the environment is quiet. That's where they moved to before the game against the Super Falcons. Now, you see, if they could do that, it simply means where they were not comfortable. And you saw how they played against Nigeria. I think they just arrived the tournament. So what I'm thinking is, they may not, when you're in a place you're not comfortable, I think you may not bring out your best. They may not come out to say it. When I spoke with Jennifer Ichegine, she mentioned something that it's not the best of it, but they are professionals. They are trying to cope. How do you try to cope when you're playing an international competition? I mean, these are players who are used to world-class facilities, right, and you're bringing them here, and you're telling them to cope. So how do you bring the best out of them? And then we have the unpaid bonuses that is everywhere, that the NFL president has promised that they will be paid. So when you have this, and what were the kind of preparations they had going into Mission X? We talked about Mission X was launched on where? A press statement. It was a press release. There was no activation, nothing. And we are still waiting for their kits. You know, they're still using the old kits, right? The new kit that Nike has released to them is still not here in Morocco. They said it's stopped border at the custom here in Morocco. Why are they not using it? So then you look at these factors. Yes, they said they're not distracted. Alozie told me that they're not distracted by what's going on around them. They're focused on Mission S. But how do you focus with all these distractions around you?
I understand. David, unfortunately, I have to let you go because I know you have so much to talk about this team. But let's have you again just before the game on Friday. Thank you so much for your time.
Always a pleasure, Austin. Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you to the guys. We wish the Super Falcons all the best. Their game against Zambia.
That's right. And Cecilia, you also need to go. Thank you so much for your time. We'll bring you back again on Thursday. And this time, Cecilia, get ready to tell us things that will put smiles on our faces ahead of that game on Friday. Thank you so much, Cecilia, for your time.
Thank you, Austin. And thank you, Yemi. Good night, guys.
Awesome. So I'm going to hand over to Yemi in Lagos. Yemi, look, it was difficult talking about the Super Falcons because our expectations, they were right here, up there. But now it's like we're struggling to understand what's going on.
And because of that struggle, we'll just go on with the show so that we don't continue to struggle. Let's just go on to basketball and still talking about, the ladies now. I'll go across in a bit to just talk about it. But pictures on your screen telling you the story. The journey so far, Junior D Tigers, their performance in Group D, all the way in Czechia, Czech Republic. You have Nigeria, of course, beating China by 5 points, 93 to 88. And of course, losing to Canada, it was a blowout, really, to Canada, 113 to 42. And of course, also losing to Portugal, 61 points to 79. And in the round of 16, the game to be played tomorrow, of course, the D Tigers will be up against Hungary. And of course, we're wishing them all the best. Can you Idris, quick one on this, that they're here for me, with all the domestic issues that we have, that they're here is a plus. And I hope they'll be able to go farther than this in the tournament.
Where did we even get these players? Is there a league?
Let's go there.
Let's just, I wish them all the best. Junior D Tigers, for your names, the players involved, I wish you all the best.
Don't be mean. They are wearing our colors.
Yeah, that's why I said for their names.
Okay.
Not for Nigeria now, for their names. I wish you guys all the best.
All right. Austin, it's always very difficult to talk basketball without talking about the domestic issues, but try. It's not easy, but try. That we're here is a plus.
Even you're struggling.
I'm struggling as well, I know, but hopefully we'll be able to sort out whatever is happening at home, because the truth of the matter is you can go to tournaments. If you are not building, you are just nowhere.
Particularly at this level, this is the under-19 level, and you're already depending on some young girls who are based in America or are based in Europe. And I keep saying it, as long as we will be looking abroad for talent, our sports administrators will do nothing back home. It's just the sad reality, because they can easily just come to England, go to Spain, go to America, where they have the structures, the system, and then just abandon the guys back home. But hey, shout out to the Junior D Tigers. I love this story so much, particularly what they did in that opening game against China. They trailed about 6 points during the break, and then they bounced back stronger, took control of the game, and went all the way. That was the perfect way to start the competition. And look, it got us pumped up, maybe a rush of blood to the brain. And when they played Canada, woo, that blowout result. But I'm just full of, praise for this team. Good experience out there for a team that gets so little from federation, in fact, every quarter we're just looking towards competition, but we're forgetting that at this level, Kehinde Idris, it's beyond competition. It is how you prepare the team, because this is one for the future, isn't it?
It's as simple as that. You've capped it all. It's as simple as that. If we cannot start building at this level, we're already looking at
we have no business in basketball at all. All right. We're going to spend the last few minutes we have to talk about what was a big surprise. What was a big surprise and I have to eat the humble pie. I didn't see it happening. But let me just quickly reel out the award winners. We already know Chelsea won against PSG. Nobody saw that coming. The golden ball went to Chelsea's Cole Palmer. Silver ball went to PSG's Vitinha. The bronze ball went to Moses Caicedo, plays for Chelsea. Let's see some other winners on the night. The Golden Glove, Robert Sanchez, Chelsea goalkeeper. FIFA Best Young Player Award, Desiree Doué of PSG. Those are the winners. Top goal scorer, Gonzalo Garcia of Real Madrid. FIFA Fair Play Award went to FC Bayern Munich. All right, these are the awards. Kehinde Idris, quickly, in 15, 20 seconds, did you see that result happening? Were you part of those guys who felt it could go either way? I wasn't, and I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not one of them. The only way I can say I tilt towards there is the fact that I have huge respect for Chelsea and the way they handle themselves in competitions. That was the only thing. In fact, the 2 Champions League they won, they went into those games as underdogs against Bayern.
Against the odds.
Against Bayern, against Man City. They went in there against the odds and they came out tops. And then in the Club World Cup, in fact, this is a bigger odd. Everybody felt it was going to be a blowout. I am one of them because I even told some people, hey, I don't play bet, but if you have to place your smart money, then it should be on PSG.
Austin, I hear there was a gang up in England because PSG has been beating all the English teams, and they felt that if PSG beat Chelsea, they're going to go and beat Tottenham. And so it must not happen. And for once, City, Arsenal, United, all of the fans were supporting Chelsea. Is that true?
It is, Yemi. It was a national mission Chelsea embarked on, because it was embarrassing. PSG was just beating all of the English teams, took Manchester City, I think, out of the competition, took Arsenal out of the competition. It was embarrassing, So when Chelsea was going against them, everybody just had to come, call all the dogs.
But they took Liverpool out as well.
Took Aston Villa out.
Took Liverpool. I think they took Liverpool out. Took Liverpool, took Aston Villa out.
Yeah, it was really a tough one. But Chelsea, shout out to Maresca. We're beginning to feel his effects now. And, this is an inspiring story from the bridge to the world. If you take a look at what Chelsea has been through in the last 3 years and how they picked themselves back up, put this team together, and now they are world champions again. It's an inspiring story, So congratulations to Chelsea and to everyone who didn't see it coming. It goes to tell you that life is actually what would make it, When everybody seems to not believe in you, just believe in yourself. I think that's where the curtain will fall on tonight's edition of Sports Tonight. But let me join the country to commiserate with the Buhari family on the passing away of the former president, Muhammadu Buhari. I remember him so well for the good things he did for sports in Nigeria in 2018. I remember when he hosted the Chan Eagles and, did a lot to promote league football. I remember in 2017 when he had that viral moment when we defeated Cameroon 4-0, he was watching the team and the talks he did with the team. We pray with the country that is Chentu, beautiful soul, will rest in peace. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, it's a wrap here, and I want to join Austin and the whole crew of Sports Tonight to wish the late President Buhari's family, wish them that God will grant them the gratitude to bear this irreparable loss, and of course, be with them during this tough period. All right, before I go, I want to thank Kehinde Idris for his time on the show. Hopefully, we'll do this again some other time.
Of course, we would always be here.
All
Thank you so much.
Thank you for allowing us into your homes without knocking. It's a privilege we will never take for granted. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.